Hey guys, this is Evan with HBI Auto. Today I want to do something a little bit different. I don't like bashing anybody, so I'm not going to put any names out in this video, but I want to kind of go over a reason why I strongly suggest not bringing your air-cooled car to the Porsche dealership. One of the reasons is a lot of the guys that worked in those cars are no longer there. This car was brought to me. Customer said that a Porsche dealer had done a EFI conversion on the car, did a whole entire kit, and the car never ran right since he got it back from them. Had a big stutter down low, didn't idle right, and something was wrong. So I said, okay. I brought in here, and the first thing I noticed is, okay, I need to hook up to the computer system, and I noticed it had an electromotive system on the car. And so I asked the customer, I said, how long has it been since it was done? And he said, it's been about 2 years. That's funny because electromotive hasn't been around. They've been gone for over 2 years now. So I plug up to it and I can't really read any data. So I go back and I'm like, well, I'm gonna chase wires now. I get in the engine bay and I just see a disaster of wires. I go to underneath the seat, I see there's a electromotive box just kind of taped down to the floorboard, hanging out there, cut wires, same color wires going all through the harness. I wanna kind of show you guys what was in this car when I received it, and I haven't touched the harness since then. So this was the harness that was in the car. Had the electromotive box underneath the seat. Like I said, you can see it's kind of just glued down there, hanging out. The wideband, and a lot of random cut wires. And these wires are going to supposedly fuel injectors. So I try to chase the wires out, and I get to the injector side of things, I notice all the wires are white. Now, the problem with that is, if all the wires are the same color, it's really hard to trace wires if there's a short somewhere, open circuit. And it kept on getting worse and worse, and I haven't touched this harness since I pulled it out of the car. And it's just hacked, absolutely hacked together with, butt connectors and cut wires and whatever this nonsense is. So I called the customer and say, look, I can't properly diagnose this car because of the wiring harness, the outdated computer. I can't do it properly, and the only way I'm going to do it is if we rip everything out and start fresh again. And so that's what we did, and I want to show you how it should look compared to this and how important it is. So we kept the computer where they had it originally, because it's kind of the only spot to do it in, but there are ways to do it to where it's a lot more clean. So we made a plate, everything's loomed. It's a full Haltech system using their wideband, their map and all that kind of stuff. And the map sensor that was on this car was I think it was a GM map sensor, which doesn't even read up past 1 bar. So it's kind of useless, but Haltech, you can use their factory map. They have a map in the actual ECU. So everything's loomed and nice and secured to a plate where nothing's gonna be rattling around. Then you come in the engine bay, you can see that all the wires now are nice and loomed. We replaced all the connectors. Everything has its own, color wire like it should. The whole harness now is how it should be, even down to just going to the crank sensor, all loomed, heat shrink, everything. And you're not going to see in the video, but where the wire comes through, we've loomed it all the way back. And with Haltech, if you've ever done one of these systems, you basically just get a universal harness and you have to start from scratch. So we had to go through, and each sensor we had to make our own harness for the car, pretty much, with connectors and stuff like that. And once that was done, the car still wasn't running right, but we could diagnose it. Dealership that built the car didn't put the blow-off valve back on. Well, the recirculation valve was on there, but it wasn't connected. So it was just building boost with nowhere for it to go. And there's just so many little things we found with this car that just people at dealerships are not familiar with anything that's aftermarket, anything that's not the norm, that they can't just log into PPN and see how to fix it. And it really hurts seeing cars of this magnitude that are going to these dealerships thinking they're getting quality service, and the reality is those people don't know what they're doing with these cars. It's older technology. Even if this one was converted, but it was converted very poorly. According to the customer, the CIS system was fine, but he was told this would make it run better, when in fact it made it run worse. That's why it came to us. And so I just want to put a little PSA out here that just, whether it's with us or anywhere else, find a shop that knows how to work on these older cars, because that generation of people is now gone from the dealership, and the knowledge isn't there anymore. And I'd hate to see any more cars kind of go through this expense and customers having to pay twice to get the car where it should be. All right, so guys, so if you're dealing with stuff like this on one of your cars and want to get it to finally run right, do it properly like it should, and enjoy the vehicle, please feel free to reach out to us, give us a call. We're happy to answer any questions or recommendations on any kind of computer systems and stuff like that for these cars. Thank you so much. Have a great day.